What are you doing there, you fucking weirdo? You pervert? What are you looking at? Stop staring at me, you fucking weirdo. Am I bored? Probably. That's why we're making a video. Welcome back to the channel. It's Opex. Got another video for you today. It looks like you can see me in this video. We got the sun started. Here, let's see if this works at all. That kind of works, right? Yeah. Kind of. It kind of works. No? Fuck. Okay. It kind of works. So let's dive into it, shall we? No intro. Let's dive into it. Gonna stop wasting your guys' time. Let's just dive into the video. I have plenty of content coming for you guys. Just stay tuned for that. Philosophy is on its way. This video is a little different. This is going to be an update to my plan to retire in 10 years. Whoa! A lot of people, not a lot of people, maybe less than a handful, are actually interested in this, and I have to dive into it. Got our coffee, and we're ready. I hope you like the new camera angle. It's probably here to stay. Let me know what you think. It's better than the last one. Alright. So in this video, I want to talk about what I'm doing in my life right now to get me the fuck out of this truck. I'm using this truck and driving this truck in my current career to retire. A lot of you guys don't have plans. What happens after I can't drive a truck no more? Am I gonna fucking do another dead-end job or blah, blah, blah? There isn't really a 401k in the majority of trucking jobs. You just gotta make enough money to get by or to get to a point where you can get out of the truck, right? But there's really no retirement plan in trucking. You got to come up with and formulate your own. So I do still plan on retiring soon. I do not plan on being in this vehicle for another 2 years. I don't plan on it. And if I do plan on it, there's something wrong going on. So let's dive into it, shall we? I've talked about baby steps. I've talked about it plenty on this channel. You should create goals in your life in baby steps, itty bitty steps. Because if you don't, you may be overwhelmed, you may be behind on your tasks, you might be setting lofty goals and it's just too much. And then there you go, having issues. Right? Issues that are hiccups to change of plans, totally, right? So, in this video, I want to tell you about the little baby steps that I'm taking each time. I set goals for about 2 to 2.5 months per goal. Do I have a bigger picture of a goal? 100%. But my plans tend to change. Just how I'm viewing them now would be very ideal, would be perfect. My end goal is perfect in my eyes, for me. However, things change. So you cannot set your end goal to be exactly how it's going to be when it's all said and done. So I'm setting myself up with these little tiny short-term goals. So, it doesn't seem like much to you, but I was $1,400 in debt getting into the truck in November. My goals in November was 2 things. Pay off that debt, which is easy. two, to buy a vehicle. Preferably something that's going to be a long-term investment. I had worked from November to the end of January. So early mid-November to end of January, and I worked 9 weeks, something like that. Got out of the truck. I was able to accomplish my goals. I bought a vehicle. I paid off my debt. My vehicle, I bought an 05 6.0 F-250. Diesel, obviously. So now that I have my diesel truck, I can haul those things I need long term, whether it's a boat or whether it's whatever, right? I have a next portion of a goal, right? I'm back out in the road. I've been back out in the road. This is my third day back out in the road. I was just in Florida. Now I'm almost out of Wyoming into Utah area. Fucking hate winter. Fucking hate it. We're not even halfway through winter and I want it to stop. Anyway. So, my next goal, and this is all linked together in my overall goal, but I just need tiny baby steps. And I want to feel accomplished every time I'm out on the road. I can't just go out on the road for 2 months and then come back out on the road and not feel accomplished, like a goal was already accomplished. So that's another reason. Self-fulfillment. That's why I'm also creating these little goals, because I have not just a hit of dopamine and feeling accomplished, but I actually have something worthwhile that I can grab and be like, I did it. My next goal, which I'm gonna be out here for another 9-10 weeks. Second week of April, I plan on being back home. Is to, sorry, going a little slow, I am driving here. My next goal is to buy property. I want to buy rural property out in like Interlaken for many different reasons. We can dive into all the reasons at the end. I'm just going to talk to you in the beginning about my short-term goals, my 2-month increment goals, essentially. So I'm going to be back out here, which I am out here right now, and I'm going to be out here for 2 more months, 9-10 weeks. And my plan is to buy property. This could be a 1/4 acre land. This could be an acre land. This could be a 2-acre parcel. Residential. I wanted to have a power pole nearby. And I want it to be residential. I don't want it to be recreational or anything like that. Now, my idea here is to buy that property. It could be outright. Let's say a 1/4 acre for $8,000. I'll buy that. Let's say a 1/2 acre for $12,000. I will buy that. Let's say 3 acres for $35,000, $40,000, right? $50,000 even. 50 gets out of my price range, but $40,000. I will put money down. I'll put a 1/4 of that down and pay the rest off. Now, you guys might be used to my channel being like, you should know by now, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. Don't go into debt, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're in debt. I don't believe in the credit system. I think it's a scam, etc. Right? You know me, you know me, right? But in this scenario, I'm willing to do that because of my, again, long-term goals, and the bigger parcel of property, the better for me and my long-term goals. Now, a 1/4 acre out in like Putnam County, rural Florida, would be 1/4 acre, $30 in taxes a year. 3 acres might be $130, $150 in taxes a year. That ain't much. I can afford that. You know what I mean? If I have a modular or mobile home on that land, the taxes don't go up. If I even lived in an RV on the property, taxes don't go up. Because you can always just take it off the property. So the surveyor can't up the price of the parcel, right? So my plan is to get property. I prefer to have it outright, just to purchase it outright. Let's say, again, 12 grand. So my goal is to save up at least 12 grand or whatever, saved. And you guys know I save money out here on the road. I don't pay rent or any of that bullshit. So I actually save almost everything. I have an air fryer. I buy food at Walmart, so it's cheaper instead of going to this truck stop. Now I do pay for coffees because my inverter just shit the bed of my coffee maker in day 2. Day 1 it worked fine. I'm gonna have to invest in a pure sine inverter. Anyway, that's neither here or there part of this video, but the point is I save money over the road. I'm going to save at least 12 grand, that's the goal. Save, and then buy property. Now, that's the next goal, and then I have another goal in 2 months, right? And I think you guys should have these baby step, small goals. So, I bought my vehicle. Next step is to buy my property. What is the next step? What is the overall goal here, OPEX? You want to just live on a mobile piece of land, a mobile home on a piece of land or something? Pretty much, yeah. My next step would be going out here back again out on the road for another couple months. My goal is to have 3 things. So I'm going to have to save up money for a well, septic. Now, well in Florida is relatively cheap. Cheaper than, I think, the rest of the country. Reason being is because you don't have to go far to strike water. And if you go too far, you're striking sulfur, right? So you don't have to strike a well down too far, so it's generally cheaper. So I'm expecting 3 grand for that, right? Septic. I can do the septic myself and save tons of money, right? But I'm gonna have someone cheap to put a septic down. Let's say another 3 grand, which it shouldn't be. Not, I mean, it could be. So I'm just gonna say it. So that's 6 grand. And on top of that, I want to have a power pole going to 2 electrical poles, RV electrical outlet things. So then I'll have 2 outlets or 2 poles bringing power to the property. That's awesome, right? That all costs probably, let's say 8 grand, right? Let's just say 8 grand I have to save up my next time. So this time and then the next time, I'm already going to have property with power, water, septic all hooked up. Then I'm going to go out again in another month or 2 months. So it would be about 6 months from now when I get out of the truck, which is going to be summer. It's going to be a really hot summer. It's Florida. But it's 6 months or so. Let's say the next step. I can get a tiny home for 10 to 30 grand. I can. You probably can't. I can. Or I can get 2 RVs. I mean, I can get an RV 25 to 35 foot long. Everything's working. No water damage. Everything's working. For about 6 grand. Give or take. But 6 grand. I can do it. I don't know if you can. I can do it. So imagine if I get a tiny home for 12 grand or whatever, just a tiny home, where I can live on it with a water heater and everything already there. All I have to do is hook it up to the well, septic, and electrical. That would be awesome. That would be ideal. Or I can do 2 RVs where essentially I'm still out in the road. I can rent out those 2 RVs, right? And I can be lucrative with it. Not lucrative, but I can have a side hustle going. Then I can be out on the road for another 2 months. Now we're looking at about 8 months to 9 months down the future, which it's fall at that point, right? By fall, I could have 2 RVs on that property and a tiny home, hooked up to well, septic, has electric. I could live in the tiny home, rent out those 2 RVs, and essentially, at this point, 9 months down the road, I can get out of the truck. Because I have other business adventures. I don't want to be in this truck next year, but I'm willing to go into the truck next year. Stay in this truck. I'm willing to do it to make all my ends meet. Now, I can go on and on and on about the 2-month goal period. I'm just letting you know my next goal in April, second week in April, about 10 weeks from now, less than, maybe 9 weeks from now. I plan, actually that is 10 weeks from now. 10 weeks from now, I plan on buying property, getting the next stage set up. I'm gonna feel fulfilled. I'm gonna feel like I accomplished something, and I will accomplish something major in my life. Never bought property before. I almost did in 2021, early 2022. I almost did. I ended up putting all my stuff in storage, but I did plan on buying property, and I ended up not doing it. I regret it. I really regret not buying that property. And it was just recreational land, but I regret not buying it. Because if I was to sell it now, like 2 years later or whatever, it would be worth more already. That would have been the good buy. And it was only like $18 or $20 in taxes a year for rec land. Now, I do plan on buying residential land. Oh, this guy just popped off the shoulder. Let me figure out what the fuck this guy's doing. Gosh darn it. Anyway, so you see where I'm getting at here. I want to get the fuck out of the truck. I'm serious about it. I'm adamant about it. I don't want to do this for another year. I'm willing to. I don't want to. I am doing this temporarily so I can get those things in life that I need to actually do what I am saying is retire. I'm not going to retire as in I'm not going to work ever again. I am definitely going to keep working. I'm just not going to work for others, under somebody, or hustle so hard that I have to get up every morning and I need an alarm clock. I'm setting myself up to not need an alarm clock, not need to hustle. Okay, so I get an acre land, 20 grand out in, again, Putnam County or something, or somewhere near like Ocala National Forest, where people go camping. I have residential land. Hustle number one that I can start while still truck driving. Ready? We went 20 minutes of my plans to my little goals and stuff like that. Now we are talking about my side hustles that I'm going to do and ideas of. And I'll probably just tell you the ones I know for a fact I'm going to do, because this video could take forever. And who knows even if you guys even made it to this part of the video before getting bored. But this should be an eye-opening conversation of not a conversation, but a topic of little goals. This should help you to do something similar in your own way, to placate to those things that you want in your life. So, I'm gonna have residential land, power hooked up to it, multiple RVs and or tiny homes hooked up legally. I can rent them out. There are a lot of people that like to go camping. Now, in Florida, you're only allowed to camp for 14 days at a time. On residential land, in an RV with power, and well and septic, you can go as long as you want. So that's one of the benefits of going to one of my spots. If I rent out my property, or my let's just say this is the scenario. I have one tiny home and 2 RVs. And I want to rent out the 2 RVs and live in the tiny home. Those 2 RVs, I can charge $80 a night. Electrical included, right? Like $80 a night. More people just on that price tag would rather do that than lug their own camper down. Okay, you want to go spend 50 grand on a camper? Or whatever you spend. You can do what I do and buy them cheap for like 4 to 8 grand. But 4 to 8 grand, and how many times are you going to use it? Now imagine $80 a night, and you can spend it on a rural piece of land. No neighbors except for me and another camper, right? Potentially another camper. It doesn't mean that I have these units rented out 24/7. I don't expect that. I'm not delusional. But $80 a night, let's say a week, let's just say $500 a week, and cheaper if you do it longer. For $500 a week, and you only use, or you can use your camper, whatever, if that's what you choose, right? But you would rather do what I'm doing because you don't have to lug a camper down and worry about all that. You don't have to insure the camper. You don't have to do anything like that. You don't have to have a truck to go down. You can bring your car. You don't have to worry about all of that problem, and then it's only $80 and well and septic and everything is running water and your shower works. Your toilet works. You don't have to worry about finding an RV park, and then you're paying more than that anyway. How much does it cost for a week at an RV park? Come on, guys. And I'm doing it for cheaper, way cheaper, and you don't have to worry about the RV park bullshit and worrying about your own camper and insurance and blah, blah, blah. That sounds like everyone's jumping on that, right? But let's say $80, let's say $500 a week, right? Let's say I get a couple of those per RV per month. That's $1,000 each. Let's say $2,000 a month. Let's just say $1,500, because let's say I can't rent them out for that long, and for whatever reason. Now, even if you go to a hotel, this is cheaper. And you don't have to worry about bullshit, right? You can have your own, like, you can cook your own food. You can't really do that in most hotels. You can have a campfire. You can't do that at a hotel. You can have your own shit going for you, right? On this little parcel that you have your own little quarter acre, just yourself, with a fire pit. You can camp if you want, with the luxuries for $80 a night. That's so much better than most Airbnbs. Every hotel, cheaper too. Like the ideas that I have is substantial. And then you're 50 miles away from Orlando, or whatever it is. It's probably like 60 miles, 70 miles away from Orlando. About 70 miles away from Jacksonville, and maybe 40 miles, 50 miles away from Gainesville. There's lakes nearby. A lot of people want to go there just to go fishing. They want to go fishing or you know, whatever, right? Okay. Well, you can go fishing right there. $80 with all the luxuries? You don't have to buy your own land. You don't have to get a camper. You don't have to go and deal with any of that bullshit. It sounds like a no-brainer to me. Now, if I have multiple tiny homes, multiple campers, again, down the road, more than just the 9-month period, can you imagine? If all of these are lucrative, but let's just go back to $1,500 a month for those 2 RVs. Let's just say $1,200 a month, because I'm paying for the electricity. So let's say $1,200 a month. After 12 months, and of course, I expect in season to have them pretty booked up. If I have good marketing, advertising and such, I can have that. And then returning customers, because there's got to be returning customers. I can't imagine this not having returning customers, because I'm going to take care of everything. I'm going to be on site, making sure everything's clean. So the only real thing I got to do is clean, and you know, water heater goes down, I got to replace it, or whatever it might be, right? But can you imagine $80 a night for 2 to 3 adults? That's cheap. That's cheaper than a hotel. Like, way cheaper. Anyway, going back, $1,200 a month, 12 months, that's $14,000 a year. Just in 2 campers. Those campers paid for itself the first year. And I'm saying this lightly. Like, I can rent out those RVs for much more. I can do it $100 a night. I can do it, you know, $1,000 a month. You know, with electricity included. You have your well water. I can rent it out for $1,000 a month. I mean, that's what RV parks charge, right? $1,000 a month. and you still got to pay for the electricity, right? And you still got to pay for your own camper to bring on that property. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds lucrative to me. Not lucrative like that's the only hustle I need. But it pays for the property. I only have less than $100 in taxes a year. Pays for the property. Pays for my electricity. Pays for those things I need. And it's minimal effort on my part, right? So that's one side hustle. We went 10 minutes on one side hustle. Another side hustle, a big one for me. So I'm a gardener. Watch my videos. I love gardening. I'm very good at it. My plan is to produce a lot of food. So my plan is to, I'm so good, and I can stress this to you guys all day long, but you got to actually have it to understand it. You got to try it to buy it. But I have the best sauce on the planet. I learned from the best, and I tweaked it, and I twisted it to make it even better. I have multiple types of sauces. Tomato sauces, pepper sauces, meat sauces, I have different types of sauces that I am phenomenal at making. My plan is to create sauces, packaged sauces. My plan is to have another, and I can go through, this video would take forever if I went through all the fucking logistics of it, but my plan is to make about 5 to 10 grand just in sauces every year. This would be 2 grow cycles a year, with peppers and tomatoes and onions, and 2 grow cycles. Not during winter or the heat of the summer, because tomatoes can't survive that heat of the summer, etc. Right? Like maybe in your area, but not in Florida. Anyways, my point is, without getting too far into it, is I'm going to make 5 to 10 grand or so on sauces, and that's not even included the sauces I'm keeping for myself. But I'm expecting to go to the farmer's market to sell in my area to my locals. Pristine sauces, like $10 a jar, and it's just pristine. It's the best sauce. Like once you have it, you know it. You're not going back. You're not going to go back to ragu. But I make phenomenal pepper sauces. I make phenomenal. I already said this. I'm not going to go over it again. So my plan is to jar sauces. I also have another plan, rabbits. I am 100% on board with rabbits. No, I have not raised them before, so that's the only wrench in the hat. I have to figure this out a little bit. But my plan is to raise rabbits, meat rabbits. I want to have at least 100 rabbits on my property at all times. And that's not included the ones that are in my deep freezer, but my plan is to sell them as is, as meat rabbits, as like people buy bunny rabbits, right? So people would want to buy them. There's a hustle there. There's a hustle on the meat. So I can sell each meat rabbit, the meat itself, for $10 to $15 bagged up in a freezer that I can bring to the farmer's market every week, or I can sell locally. And obviously I would advertise this too, just like I would advertise my sauces and my Airbnb style thing. So I'm planning on having tons of side hustles, one of those being those meat rabbits, and the meat rabbits would be for myself and would be to sell. I plan on having tons of rabbits go in every month. That's my plan. And I'm going to, and you know, with the health movement right now, rabbits are like one of the healthiest thing on the planet. Meat. It's healthier than anything at the superstore or at the supermarket. So my plan is to have it for myself. I can eat meat rabbits and chickens and just use my sauces, and I would never get bored. I would never need anything else than what I accumulate on my garden, you know, broccoli, things of that nature. I would never have to buy food again. That would save me so much money. And that's just me not having to buy food anymore, right? Between my sauces and everything that I would do, I would never have to go to the supermarket again. Personally, I would never have to. That would save me so much. That would save me 10 grand a year on food, right? Now, selling it, I plan on selling 10 to 20 grand on rabbits. Not just for the meat. Not just selling them whole as is, alive. But also I plan on selling the hides. Yep, I know how to gut and to dehide these rabbits. Never done it before on a rabbit. Again, never raised rabbits. Well, my plan is to have the hides, sell the hides. And in those hides, I can sell for $10 a piece. to artists and people that are craftsmen or craftswomen. You know, there are tons of arts and crafts alone that there's a big market for hides. So again, I've never took the hide off a rabbit before and went through the process, but I've done my research over the last decade on it, and I'm all in. Again, a lot of work, not a lot of work, but like a tiny bit of work every day just for the hides. And again, if I'm going through 20 to 100 rabbit hides a month, that could be lucrative just on the hides. So that's one thing. I can, obviously, if I can't sell it all in my area at local spots or the farmer's market, I can sell it online. You just pay shipping. There are people that want rabbit hides, believe it or not. There's so much you can do with it, from making rugs to whatever, right? There's tons of things you can do with it. So the hides are very lucrative. So there's tons of stuff you can do with with rabbits. Also, the fertilizer, the dung, or whatever you want to call it, the pellets, the poop, the shit. The shit itself is very lucrative too. I can use it as fertilizer, and it's a very good fertilizer, and you can apply it directly to your garden. People pay, and more than $1 a pound for rabbit droppings. Again, you can apply it directly. You don't have to wait for it to decompose and all that shit. You can apply it directly to your garden without burning your roots. So that's another plus. I can sell the fertilizer, again, locally or at the farmer's market or whatever, or even just advertise. So I have a huge plan with rabbits, and I expect that to be one of my primary incomes, let alone what's going to keep me sustained personally, let alone the revenue. Again, about 10, 20 grand. So if I'm doing, well, what did we say, 14 grand? I want to say minimum, but 14 grand on those RVs every year. The rabbits are another 10 to 20. Let's say 15. So let's just say those two, I'm creating 30 grand of income a year. Then you add about 10 grand on the 5 grand. Let's just say 5 grand because that's about for sure what I would make on sauces. 5 grand, and that's something that could be more lucrative. That's just me thinking I'm minimally going to be selling this. This is without repeat customers and shit, right? So 35 grand right there in those 3 side hustles that are not taking up my full time, and it's going to save me tons of money on food every year. About 10 grand on food it's going to save me, right? So those 3 side hustles are very, very lucrative for me. To get out of the truck and I'd be happy if I made 35 grand a year and I almost never had to even leave my property, except for maybe every Friday I'd go down to the farmer's market, or Saturday, whatever it might be, and then maybe I'm going to a few of them. Maybe one of them's on a Sunday over in this area, one's at the beach at this day, right? I can have a clientele all around. Plus, obviously, the health food movement, people want rabbits, people want sauces, especially if they're sick of ragu or making their own. They can have organic sauces for $100 or $10 a jar. A phenomenal sauce, best sauce they'll ever have in their life, with no preservatives. And again, the meat rabbits. And on top of that, I'm going to be selling eggs and chickens. I'm going to have at least 50 chickens, if not 100 chickens as well. So I plan on creating multiple revenues of income. So again, let's just say 35 grand on the low end. A profit of what I'd be making. And I can go into the logistics of each and every one of those and dial it up and say all the reasonable ranges of profits I would make. I'm just telling you about 35 grand. I can get into selling worms. I can have worm bins and composts and all these other things that I can dive into as well. Now there's people that sell snakes. I could do that. I probably wouldn't, but I'm just saying there's tons of different avenues as well on top of that. So you guys might be like, 35 grand, that's not retirement. Think about how much I'm actually spending a year. Don't have to pay for food. Sorry. Taxes are really cheap. Like really, 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 really cheap. I have constant income coming in. It sounds like a luxury to me. Now let me know, because I can dive into many different avenues of income that I plan on. I told you I was getting that truck. Imagine someone says, I got my boat in the river and I want to take it to this lake. I'll do it, $2 a mile. I show up with my truck, $2 a mile. Let's say someone says, I just bought this camper and I have no way to put it to my property. Okay, $2 a mile, I'll do it. I have a truck now. Also, I definitely plan on this, having at least 5, if not at least 10, but I'll just say at least 5 properties every week. I plan on cutting lawns. Mowing, and this is just another side hustle where I'm making another $500+ a week. Just another little side hustle that could be more lucrative, because who wants to fucking do out in the country land? No, they want little tracks, right? They just want little tiny tracks that they go into where they can hustle out. Okay, I got 10 lawns on this track. Boom, 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 boom. That's $200 in like 2 hours. That's what people want. No one wants to go out into the country and fucking, and the country people don't want to pay the prices either, because that's fucking crazy prices. But my point is that I plan on doing landscaping as another side hustle. I plan on it. So there's tons of hustles I have, but just in the few that I named is not going to be taking up my whole time. You guys know this, if you watch my channel for a while. I had my own, I was paying like no taxes on it, but I had my own homestead. I had 3 huge raised garden beds. I had fruit trees. I was producing 100 tomatoes a day. Like I had a homestead. I already did this. I lived it. I already became a professional at it. I became a master. I had at least 18 chickens at a time. So I already raised chickens. I already had hens that were laying eggs. I already had people that were hustling my eggs for me, where I didn't have to worry about even the business side of it. And I can get into that again. I'm a smart person. But my point is, I already did this. I already had compost piles. I already had chickens. I already had gardens. I already had those things. I already made it lucrative. I already made it where it saved me money. And plus, on top of that, I worked 40+ hours a week on my job, on my full-time job. So I know I can do it. Now imagine if I don't have a full-time job and I can go to different lawns and I can go to the farmer's market on certain days. This would be fun for me. And to, like, I can imagine I would have certainly the amount of time to do it. Certainly I would make a profit. And certainly I'd be happy doing it. I would call this retirement. Some of you guys might be like, well, you're working every day. Yeah, I don't mind working every day because this is going to be fun for me. This is going to be self-sustaining. This isn't like I have to get up, 6 o'clock, my alarm goes off, I got to brush my teeth, shower, I need to shave real quick, I need to put some food in my belly, and I got to go to work. That's not that. I'm setting myself up for a lifestyle I enjoy, I love gardening. I love raising chickens. I love the idea of adding rabbits to the regimen. And I don't think I would have one problem in the world about this lifestyle that I'm portraying to you. But it's baby steps. Hopefully you guys made it to this part of the video. I know it's pretty long. I hope you guys made it to this part of the video. But do you guys see what I'm saying? Are you trying to have this kind of lifestyle as well? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know of what you would want to add to my lifestyle or my ideas of why I'm truck driving now to get to that point. And what is the point for you to get out of the truck? Leave me a comment below. Leave me a comment below if you even made it to this point of the video. Because I don't think a lot of you guys do. According to my analytics, you guys don't make it past 10 minutes in my videos. So what's the point of all of this shit? But I'm glad I made this video anyway. So I have tons of content coming, but I definitely want to hear your guys' input. Let me know where I can improve. Let me know whatever you want me to. Maybe there's things that you have done in your life when you homesteaded. I've already homesteaded before. Maybe you have rented Airbnbs out. Maybe you have done these things that I've been talking about. Let me know your experience. Let me know what I need to worry about or understand better. Let me know what you went through. I'm 100% open-minded. This isn't set in stone. This is baby steps. I haven't even started, I literally saved up 0 paychecks now for the next step for buying property. So when I save up enough money to buy this property, I'm going to buy the property. I'm going to then go out on the road for 2 more months, and I'm going to get a well septic, and I'm going to get the power pole hookups for RVs. Whatever it is, 250 amps. I don't know how that works, but I'm going to have to get the right ones for the right tools to do the job, right? I'm going to do everything right. And I'm doing all the research right now, let alone the last 10 years, on all of this stuff. So this is stuff that I've been thinking about for a very long time. And I have talked about this. I've talked about saucing my peppers and my tomatoes. I have talked about having my own property, my own homestead, and self-sustaining. I'm just adding a few layers to it for you guys. I even talked about starting my own landscaping business. I've talked about these things to you guys before, but I'm making it happen now. I already made it happen where I had my own homestead, but this is like next level. This is like true retirement. I couldn't retire on my own homestead where I was 3 years ago. 3 years ago on my homestead, I had chickens, I had everything, I had a nice job, but I couldn't retire doing those things. But this idea is a true retirement video. So this is my update to my plan to retire in 10 years. Let me know what you think. Again, I can tell you guys about the logistics of all these ideas, these little things I'm talking about. Let me know what you plan on doing in your retirement. Let me know a million different things. I am looking so forward to your comments in this video more than any other comments in the past. So hopefully you guys made it this far where I encourage you to leave a comment for me, not just to help me, but let me know what you're thinking and your ideas of what you want to do when you retire or get out of the truck. Let me know what you want to do. Let me know what you are doing. Let me know if you just purchased property in the last 5 years. Let me know. Let me know. I'm very interested. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for plenty content coming. We're going back into philosophy. Next video, I have a video topic from somebody. So I have a subscriber topic that's going to be next. Stay tuned for that video. Plenty of content coming. It's OPEX. I'm out. See you guys.